Good morning, children. Children, this video is for class 12th economics, and I am going to start the second chapter of your book, which is demand and law of demand. So let's start with the meaning of demand. Children, demand says demand for a commodity refers to the quantities of a commodity which consumers are willing and able to purchase at various possible prices during a particular period of time. Children, what is the meaning of commodity here? Commodity means those things which the consumer is going to buy to satisfy his want. Now, that could maybe some vegetable, some fruits or food grains or clothes or some electronic items. It may be any good. Here we are talking about commodity. Demand for a commodity. Commodity means any good which consumer is going to buy for the satisfaction of his want. Then consumer. Who is consumer? Those who buys goods for their satisfaction of wants, they are known as consumers. So here demand for a commodity refers to the quantities of a commodity which consumers are willing. What is the meaning of willing? Willing means readiness. Consumer, those consumers who are ready to spend their money on that commodity by which they can satisfy their want. So this is the meaning of willingness. Okay. Now, demand for a commodity refers to the quantities of a commodity which consumers are willing and able to purchase at various possible prices. Now, what possible prices means? Possible prices means here, suppose the commodity which the consumer wants to buy is of rupees 100. Now, if the price of that commodity increases to 110, then also consumer is ready to buy. And if the price of that commodity decreases to 90, then also consumer is ready to buy. So these are possible prices. Consumer is ready to buy at 100 also, at 110 also, and at 90 also. So these are all what? Possible prices. So demand for a commodity refers to the quantities of a commodity which consumers are willing and able to purchase at various possible prices during a particular period of time. Children, one more thing is here, able to purchase. What is this able to purchase? Able to purchase means the purchasing power of the consumer. What purchasing power means? Purchasing power means the amount of money which is required to get the commodity. If that amount of money is with the consumer, this is known as what? Purchasing power. If the amount which is required to get the commodity is with the consumer, it means he have purchasing power. Okay. So demand comprises three things. First is desire, second is willingness, and third is purchasing power. These are the three main features of demand. To become demand for any commodity, there are three things which is most important. What are those three things? The first one is desire, the second is purchasing power, and the third is willingness. First of all, the desire comes in the mind of the consumer. Then he arranges the amount which is required to get that commodity, means he makes his purchasing power. After that, he have to ready also to to spend that money in that commodity. It means willingness. So there are three things which is required to make a demand. What are those three things? Desire, purchasing power and willingness. All these three makes a demand. So here the meaning of demand is given. One more time I am going to read it. Demand for a commodity refers to the quantities of a commodity which consumers are willing and able to purchase. Means they are ready also and they have purchasing power also at various possible prices during a particular period of time. So this is the meaning of demand. Now let's discuss types of demand. The first one is individual demand and market demand. So let's start with individual demand. Children, individual in general we can say individual means single person. But here in economics, individual means household. What is the meaning of household? Family. Now, family may have 2 members also, family may have 10 members also, or a family may have 20 members also. So here the word individual refers to household. We are talking about household. So individual demand means the demand made by a household. Now household means, just now I told you, it means family. Now if the family have 1 member, then also it will be an individual demand. If the family have 10 members, then also it will be called individual demand. So individual demand means the demand of a household, single household, irrespective of number of members in a family. Individual demand means demand of single household, means demand of a single family irrespective of number of members in a family. If there is only 1 member, then also it will be called individual demand. If there are 2 members in a family, then also it will be called individual demand. If there are 10 members in a family, then also it will be called individual demand. Okay. Now, second is market demand. What is market demand? Since individual demand and market demands are comparable, that is why they are written together, individual demand and market demand. Market demand means the demand of all the consumers, all the households in the market. Here in case of individual demand, we were taking the demand of only one household. But in case of market demand, we are taking the demand of all the households in the market. When we combine the demand of all the households of the market, it becomes what? Market demand. Individual demand, only one household, irrespective of number of members in a family. But in case of market demand, all the households demand. The demand of all the households in the market. It becomes what? Market demand. Okay. Now, second is ex-ante demand and ex-post demand. Firstly we will take the ex-ante demand. What is ex-ante demand? Ex-ante demand is a planned or desired demand. It's not an actual demand. It's a planned or desired demand. It means the demand of those consumers who are just planning to buy the commodity. They are not sure that they will buy it or not buy it. They have purchasing power, they are willing also, but they had not yet decided that whether they will buy or not buy. It is only in the planning of them. They will buy also or they may not buy also. So such kind of demand is called ex-ante demand. Means it is a planned demand or it is a desired demand. And the next one is ex-post demand. Now what is ex-post demand? It is a demand of those consumers who are actually going to buy the product. Means they have decided to buy the product. Means they are those consumers who will actually going to purchase the commodity. their demand is called ex post demand. So what is the difference between ex ante demand and ex post demand? In case of ex ante demand, it is only a planned demand or desired demand, but in case of ex post demand, it is the demand of those consumers who are actually going to buy the commodity. Such kind of demand is called ex post demand. Now the third category is joint and composite demand. Let's take the first one, joint demand. What is joint demand, children? Joint demand means the demand of those commodities which are required together to fulfill one demand. Joint demand is the demand for those commodities which are required together to fulfill one demand, like car and petrol, pen and ink. If we have a car, we need petrol also. If we have a pen, we need ink also. To write, we need pen and ink both. To travel, we need car and petrol both. Such kind of demand is known as joint demand. It means when two or more commodities are required to fulfill one demand. When two or more commodities are required to fulfill one demand, such kind of demand is known as joint demand. The next one is composite demand. What it says, composite demand is a demand for those type of commodities which are able to satisfy more than one demand. More than one demands, they are able to satisfy the demand of consumers, not single demand, but they are able to satisfy more than one demand. Example, demand for a milk. Now, milk is used for the consumption directly for the purpose of energy. Milk is used for making curd, milk is used for making butter, milk is used for making cheese, milk is used for making paneer, milk is used for making khoya. So the demand of milk is not used for one purpose, it is used for several purposes. So the demand of milk is composite because milk is able to fulfill our various demand. Milk is a product which do not fulfill only one demand. Milk is a product which fulfills our various demand, several demands, because like milk is able to fulfill the demand of direct consumption for energy purpose, for butter, for khoya, for paneer. So milk is a product, milk is a commodity which fulfills our several demand. So what is the difference between joint demand and composite demand? Joint demand means when one demand, single demand is fulfilled by two or more commodities is called joint demand. And one commodity, when one commodity is able to fulfill several demands, when one commodity is able to fulfill several demands like the demand of electricity, the demand of steel, the demand of leather, the demand of milk. These are those products which is used for several purposes. These are demanded for various purposes. So demand of these products is called composite demand. Okay children. Now next one is derived demand. What is derived demand? When demand arises, suppose we want to construct a building, we want to make building. Now our demand is to construct a building. Now for the construction of building, we require brick also, we require sand, we require steel, wood, etc. Now our demand was to construct the building, but for the construction of building, we need all these things. We need brick, we need steel, we need wood, we need sand. So these are the things which is required for the construction of building. So the demand for brick, the demand for cement, the demand for steel, the demand for wood will be called as derived demand. So these are the types of demand. The first one was individual and market demand. The second one was ex ante and ex post demand. The third one was joint and composite demand. And the fourth one is derived demand. So these are types of demand. So this is for this video, children. Now in the next video we will discuss about the determinants of demand. In the next video we will start determinants of demand or factors affecting demand. So that is for today, and we will meet in the next video. Okay, thank you children.